Hello everyone, and welcome. Today, we're not just discussing a topic. We're embarking on a profound exploration into the very core of our existence. How we think. This journey, I believe, will fundamentally change the way you navigate your life, equipping you with tools to face any challenge, embrace uncertainty, and discover a genuine, unshakable peace amidst the inevitable chaos of modern existence. We are here to talk about something incredibly powerful, yet often tragically overlooked: the profound art of thinking correctly. What exactly does thinking correctly mean? It's a vital question. It doesn't imply being intellectually superior, or always being right in arguments. No, its essence lies in cultivating a mindset that empowers you. It's about building an internal compass that guides you with resilience through adversity, allowing you to embrace the unknown with a serene calmness, and to ultimately find a deep, enduring sense of purpose and tranquility in a world that often feels anything but peaceful. It means gaining a profound, liberating sense of control, not over the swirling external events that constantly buffet us, but over your most precious and powerful asset, your own mind. In an age that ceaselessly bombards us with an overwhelming torrent of information, conflicting opinions, and endless distractions, our innate human capacity to think clearly, rationally, and constructively has become more crucial than ever before. Without this cultivated ability, we find ourselves in a constant state of reactivity, easily overwhelmed by circumstances and prone to debilitating emotional turbulence. But with the mastery of correct thinking, we unlock an extraordinary potential for inner strength, emotional stability, and a deep-seated tranquility that is, without exaggeration, truly life-changing. And the ancient philosophy we'll be delving into today, a timeless wisdom that has not only endured but thrived through millennia, is Stoicism. Now, please, do not let the term Stoicism conjure images of emotionless robots, rigid ascetics, or philosophical recluses. That is a common misconception. At its heart, Stoicism is far from that. It is a supremely practical, deeply actionable framework for living what the ancients called the good life or a flourishing life, a life where you, and you alone, are the undisputed master of your own mental domain. So, if you are truly ready to transform your perspective, to learn how to expertly identify what truly matters and what doesn't, to discern your sphere of influence, and to meticulously build an unshakable inner fortress against the inevitable storms and unpredictable currents of life, then I urge you to stay with me. This isn't merely an academic exercise or a discussion of abstract theories. This is about equipping you with tangible, immediately applicable tools. Tools that will allow you to live more wisely, to act more effectively, and ultimately, to experience a deeper, more authentic form of happiness than you may have ever imagined possible. Understanding the roots of incorrect thinking. Before we delve into the powerful solutions offered by Stoicism, it's absolutely crucial that we first take an honest, introspective look at the problem itself. Why is it that so many of us, despite our intelligence and best intentions, frequently struggle with what I term incorrect thinking? What are the common pitfalls that lead us astray? Consider these familiar scenarios. How often do you find yourself consumed by persistent, nagging worrying over things that are undeniably, utterly beyond your sphere of influence? The unpredictable shifts in weather, the unsolicited opinions of others, mistakes from your past that cannot be undone, or uncertainties about a future that is yet to unfold. These external elements possess an uncanny ability to hijack our minds. We dwell on them relentlessly, agonizing over possibilities, allowing them to dictate our mood, erode our peace, and ultimately paralyze our actions. This, fundamentally, is incorrect thinking. It's a futile expenditure of precious mental energy. Another pervasive pitfall in our modern society is our deep-seated reliance on external validation. We find ourselves constantly craving approval, accumulating likes on social media, seeking public recognition, or chasing fleeting accolades. Our intrinsic sense of self-worth becomes precariously tied to what others think of us, or to the accumulation of material possessions, or to temporary, superficial successes. The profound danger here is obvious when these external sources of validation are threatened, diminished, or abruptly removed. Our internal world, our very sense of self, often crumbles into anxiety or despair. This, unequivocally, is incorrect thinking, a relinquishing of our inner sovereignty. Then there's the relentless, often unexamined, pursuit of fleeting pleasure and the simultaneous, equally relentless, avoidance of any form of pain or discomfort. We chase transient highs, whether they come from endless entertainment, indulgent consumption, or superficial thrills, and we shrink from even the slightest hint of discomfort, challenge, or emotional pain. But life, by its very nature, is an intricate tapestry woven with threads of both joy and sorrow, comfort and challenge. When we stubbornly resist pain, when we fight against discomfort, we don't eliminate it. We paradoxically amplify our suffering. When we depend solely on external pleasure for our contentment, we become fragile, easily disappointed, and perpetually dissatisfied. This reflects a fundamental misunderstanding of reality, an inherently incorrect way of viewing and engaging with the human experience. Furthermore, we are deeply prone to impulsive, often regrettable, reactions. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and an instant surge of irrational anger consumes you. A negative comment online sends you spiraling into self-doubt and defensiveness. These automatic, unchecked, and disproportionate emotional responses prevent us from responding thoughtfully, calmly, and constructively. They strip us of our agency, transforming us from conscious actors into mere reactors, driven by unexamined impulses, and perhaps the most insidious, yet widespread, form of incorrect thinking is our tendency to confuse our interpretations or perceptions of things with the things themselves. This insight is brilliantly captured by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who sagely observed, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." A missed deadline, for instance, isn't inherently catastrophic. It is our interpretation of that missed deadline as a catastrophic failure, a personal slight, or an irreparable disaster that actually causes our distress, our panic, and our sleepless nights. The event itself is neutral. Our judgment assigns its emotional weight. These deeply ingrained patterns of thinking, these incorrect modes of operation, are the fertile ground for anxiety, chronic frustration, persistent disappointment, and a pervasive feeling of being adrift and powerless in life. They act as significant barriers, preventing us from realizing our full potential for genuine inner peace and effective, meaningful action. But here's the truly liberating news. These patterns are not inherent flaws in our character. They are learned behaviors, and anything learned can be unlearned, dissected, and replaced with something infinitely better, more empowering, and more aligned with our true nature. The cornerstone, the dichotomy of control now, having identified the problem, let's turn to the most fundamental and utterly transformative principle of Stoicism, the absolute cornerstone upon which all correct thinking is meticulously built, the dichotomy of control. This profound yet deceptively simple idea, championed with immense clarity by Epictetus, states a universal truth. Some things in life are genuinely within our power, our direct control, and some things are unequivocally not. Simple as it sounds, its consistent application offers a pathway to unprecedented freedom and tranquility. Let's delineate this crucial distinction. What is within our control? This sphere encompasses our inner world. It includes our thoughts, our judgments, our opinions, our desires, our aversions, our actions, and crucially, our character. These are the only things that truly belong to us, over which we possess complete and absolute dominion. No external force, no person, no circumstance can compel us to think, judge, desire, or act against our will. If we truly guard this inner citadel, What is not within our control? This vast external sphere includes almost everything else. Other people's actions and their opinions of us, external events like market crashes or natural disasters, our physical health to a large extent, despite our best efforts, our public reputation, our material wealth, fleeting fame, the inevitability of death, the unchangeable past, and the uncertain future. These are external factors, or indifference in Stoic terminology, over which we have no direct, ultimate power. The crux of the human predicament, and the source of an enormous amount of our suffering, lies precisely here. We habitually, and often unconsciously, exhaust vast amounts of mental and emotional energy trying desperately to control what is not in our control, while simultaneously neglecting to diligently cultivate and master what is within our control. We worry endlessly about what strangers, or even loved ones, think of us, about whether it will rain on our outdoor event tomorrow, or about past mistakes that are irrevocably done and cannot be undone. This, my friends, is not only incorrect thinking, but a tragically futile exercise, a monumental waste of our most precious resource, our finite mental and emotional energy. Instead, Stoicism issues a powerful, liberating injunction: focus all your energy, direct all your attention, and exert all your effort on what is truly within your control. This is the very locus of your authentic power. If you can master your thoughts, if you can regulate your reactions, if you can consistently align your intentions with virtue, then you can remain serene, composed, and effective in virtually any external circumstance, no matter how challenging. Let's solidify this with a common, relatable example. Imagine you are stuck in a frustrating traffic jam. This external event, the fact of the traffic, is unequivocally not in your control. You can honk your horn, you can yell expletives, you can fume with rage, you can pound the steering wheel, but none of these actions will miraculously make the traffic move faster. In fact, such reactions will only serve to increase your internal frustration, elevate your stress hormones, and ruin your peace of mind. This is a classic example of incorrect thinking and reactive behavior. The Stoic approach, the pathway to correct thinking, is fundamentally different. It begins by acknowledging the traffic and external, indifferent event with calm acceptance. Then, critically, it shifts your entire focus to your response to it. You have a profound choice in that moment. You can choose to be consumed by anger and resentment, or you can choose to leverage that time constructively. Listen to an educational podcast, practice a mindfulness exercise, engage in deep breathing, or simply accept the situation with philosophical equanimity, perhaps appreciating the unexpected pause in your busy day. The choice of your internal state, your mental landscape, is entirely within your power. This principle is not an invitation to passivity or apathy. If there is an action you can take that is within your control, perhaps choosing an alternate route, or planning to leave earlier next time, or sending a quick message to inform someone you'll be late, then by all means, you take that rational, effective action. But once you have done everything within your sphere of influence, you then release the outcome. You detach from the anxiety of things you cannot change. This dichotomy of control serves as the ultimate, infallible filter for your worries and anxieties. Whenever you feel stress or frustration bubbling up, pause and ask yourself this single, penetrating question: is this within my control? If the honest answer is yes, then act decisively upon it. If the honest answer is no, then consciously, deliberately, let it go. It's a remarkably simple question, but the consistent, diligent application of this one principle can liberate you from an immense amount of mental anguish, redirecting your precious energy towards what truly matters and what you can genuinely influence. The four cardinal virtues, the blueprint for right action. The dichotomy of control provides us with the essential framework, telling us what to focus our energies on. Now, let's delve into how to act and think correctly within that defined sphere of control. This is where the magnificent four cardinal virtues of Stoicism come into play. These virtues are not mere moralistic rules, they are the very blueprint for human flourishing, the qualities that enable us to live a life of profound meaning and robust well-being. Wisdom, Sophia. This is far more than mere intellectual accumulation of facts or theoretical knowledge. Stoic wisdom is supremely practical wisdom. It is the cultivated ability to navigate the inherent complexities of life with clarity, to discern what is truly good, bad, or indifferent in any given situation, and to consistently make rational, reasoned decisions. It's about seeing things precisely as they are, stripped bare of the distorting lens of raw emotion, personal biases, or societal conditioning. It's the wisdom to apply reason to everyday life, how to apply before reacting to any situation. Cultivate the habit of pausing, take a breath, then consciously ask yourself, what is the most rational, effective, and virtuous response here? What is truly important in this specific situation, beyond my immediate emotional reaction? Am I seeing this circumstance objectively, or am I viewing it through the often distorted filter of my emotions, desires, or fears? Actively cultivate an inquisitive mind, always seeking to understand deeply, to analyze situations dispassionately, and to learn from every experience. This is proactive, living wisdom. Courage, Andrea. Again, this isn't solely about physical bravery in the face of danger, though it certainly encompasses that. Stoic courage is fundamentally moral courage, the inner fortitude to consistently do what is right, to face our deepest fears, to embrace discomfort and uncertainty with unwavering resilience. It's the courage to be vulnerable when necessary, to speak your truth with integrity even when it's unpopular, and to persist tenaciously in the face of overwhelming adversity. Crucially, it's the courage to challenge your own limiting beliefs, to step outside your comfort zone, and to confront the inner demons that hold you back. How to apply? Deliberately step outside your comfort zone in small, manageable ways. Speak up for what you believe is right, even when it feels difficult or exposes you to criticism. Confront your anxieties head-on, even if it's just by acknowledging them and not letting them dictate your actions. Remember this vital truth. True strength is not the absence of fear, but rather the resolute willingness to act virtuously despite feeling afraid. Justice, sign. This virtue extends far beyond mere legalistic fairness or adherence to laws. Stoic justice is about treating all human beings with inherent fairness, profound kindness, and deep empathy. It's about acting for the common good, recognizing our fundamental interconnectedness as fellow human beings on this planet. It's about embodying unwavering integrity in all our dealings, whether personal or professional, and contributing positively to the tapestry of human society. How to apply? Before making a decision, pause and consider its potential impact on others. Will it cause unnecessary harm? Will it promote well-being? Practice active listening, truly hearing and understanding diverse perspectives. Offer help and support whenever you genuinely can. Stand up for what is right, for those who are vulnerable, even when it is inconvenient or unpopular. Remember that building a truly just and compassionate society begins with individual, virtuous actions and a deep sense of social responsibility. Temperance, self-control, sign. This is about the profound mastery of oneself, embracing moderation, discipline, and intentional living. It's about expertly controlling our desires, our impulses, and our appetites, ensuring they don't lead us astray into excess, addiction, or unhealthy obsessions. It's about living mindfully and intentionally, rather than simply reacting to every fleeting craving or external stimulus. How to apply? Practice delayed gratification. Resist immediate pleasures for greater long-term good. Be intensely mindful of your consumption habits, whether it's food, entertainment, digital information, or material goods. Develop consistent routines and habits that genuinely serve your higher purpose and your long-term well-being. Actively resist the urge to overindulge, to react impulsively, or to allow fleeting emotions to dictate your behavior. Remember the profound paradox. True freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is the liberation that comes from doing what you should do, even when you don't feel like it. It's freedom from being a slave to your own impulses. These four virtues are not isolated pillars. They are intricately interconnected and mutually reinforcing. When you diligently cultivate one, you inevitably strengthen the others. They provide an unwavering moral compass, guiding your actions and decisions within the sphere of what you can control. They are not merely abstract concepts, they are the practical roadmap for living a life of virtue, which, for the Stoics, is the only authentic path to profound happiness, genuine flourishing, and enduring contentment. Practical tools for correct thinking. Integrating Stoicism into daily life. So, with these foundational principles in mind, how do we translate these profound ideas into tangible, actionable practices in our daily lives? Stoicism, fundamentally, is not merely a philosophy to be read. It is a practical operating system for living. Here are some indispensable tools and daily practices to begin rewiring your mind for correct thinking. Morning reflection, premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. Begin your day not by reacting to emails or social media, but by consciously contemplating potential challenges, setbacks, or irritations that you might encounter. This isn't about inviting negativity or dwelling on pessimism. It's about preparing your mind, mentally inoculating yourself against life's inevitable shocks. Think, what difficulties might I face today? How will I respond calmly, rationally, and virtuously if my plans go awry? If someone is rude, if I face an unexpected obstacle? This mental rehearsal builds immense resilience, reduces the sting of surprise, and minimizes the emotional impact of unexpected adversity. It's about proactively armoring your mind before the battle begins. Evening review, amor fati and memento mori. Love of fate and remember death. Conclude your day with a deliberate review of your actions and thoughts. Ask yourself penetrating questions. Where did I act virtuously today? Where did I falter, react impulsively, or think incorrectly? What could I have done better or differently? This honest, non-judgmental self-assessment is crucial for continuous growth. Additionally, cultivate the practice of amor fati, or love of fate. This means embracing everything that happened today, good or bad, favorable or unfavorable, as an integral and necessary part of your unique journey. It's accepting reality exactly as it unfolded. And practice memento mori. Remember, you are mortal. This isn't a morbid obsession with death. It's a powerful, clarifying reminder of the precious finitude of your time. It compels you to live fully, to appreciate the present moment, and to focus your energy relentlessly in what truly matters, knowing your time is limited. Journaling, the inner dialogue. This is an extraordinarily powerful and accessible tool for externalizing your thoughts, gaining profound clarity, and engaging in self-dialogue. Write down your worries, your frustrations, your insights, your plans, and your reflections on the day's events through a Stoic lens. The very act of writing forces you to articulate your often vague thoughts, making them less overwhelming and far easier to analyze, challenge, and reframe with reason. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, arguably the most famous Stoic text, is essentially his personal Stoic journal, a testament to the power of this practice. Negative visualization, the anti-worrying exercise. This isn't about being pessimistic. It's about cultivating deep gratitude and reducing the fear of loss. Take time to consciously imagine losing the things you cherish most: your health, your loved ones, your material possessions, your current comfortable circumstances. By mentally confronting these potential losses, you achieve two powerful things. You become profoundly grateful for what you currently possess, often taking for granted, and you begin to desensitize yourself to the fear of loss, as you've already mentally processed its possibility. This makes you more resilient and appreciative. Focus on the present moment, the now. So much of our incorrect thinking is rooted in dwelling on an unchangeable past or anxiously worrying about an uncertain future. The Stoics profoundly emphasized that the only moment you truly possess, the only place where you can act, is the now. Practice mindfulness. Engage fully and completely in the task at hand, whatever it may be. When your mind inevitably wanders to past regrets or future anxieties, gently but firmly bring it back to the present. This practice anchors you in reality and empowers you to act where your power truly lies. Voluntary discomfort, the fortitude builder. Occasionally and intentionally, expose yourself to mild, self-imposed discomfort. Take a cold shower. Choose to walk when you could easily drive. Skip a non-essential meal, or opt for a simpler, less luxurious choice. This isn't about self-punishment. It's about building mental toughness and demonstrating to yourself that your happiness and well-being are not dependent on constant comfort, ease, or material abundance. It shows you that you can endure minor hardships, preparing you with psychological resilience for when larger, unavoidable ones inevitably arise. These practical exercises, when integrated consistently and diligently into your daily routine, will gradually but powerfully rewire your brain. They will train you to quickly identify incorrect thinking patterns, those that lead to suffering and ineffective action, and to consciously replace them with correct, rational, and virtuous ones. The Stoic mindset in action. Real-world applications lets ground these abstract principles in concrete, real-world scenarios, demonstrating how correct thinking fundamentally transforms our response to common challenges. Dealing with criticism. Imagine you receive harsh criticism for your work or a personal attack. Your default incorrect reaction might be hurt, defensiveness, or anger, and external judgment not in your control. A Stoic, applying correct thinking, would first pause. They would then calmly assess the criticism. Is there any truth to it? Is it valid? If so, they would embrace it as an opportunity for growth, learning from the feedback. If it's unfounded or malicious, they would acknowledge it as merely another person's opinion, something outside their control, and let it go, refusing to allow it to disturb their inner peace. Their self-worth isn't dictated by another's judgment. It rests on their own character and efforts. Navigating setbacks at work. You poured your heart into a project, but it fails, or you're passed over for a promotion you desperately wanted. The incorrect thinking would lead to deep disappointment, self-pity, or blaming others. The Stoic approach begins with acceptance of the external event. This happened. Then, the focus immediately shifts to what is within control, analyzing what factors contributed to the failure honestly and without ego, identifying lessons learned for future endeavors, and strategically planning how to improve and move forward. The setback itself isn't indifferent. Your rational response to it and your subsequent actions define your experience and future trajectory. Coping with loss or grief. This is arguably one of life's most profound and inescapable challenges. While immense pain and sorrow are natural and deeply human, Stoicism offers a powerful framework for processing grief without being consumed by it. The correct thinking here involves acknowledging that you cannot control death or the past events that led to the loss. Your focus shifts to what you can control, your emotional response, your internal narrative, and how you choose to remember and honor. This involves accepting the reality of the loss, focusing on profound gratitude for the time you had with what was lost, and continuing to live a virtuous life in honor of those memories. It's about finding enduring strength in acceptance and purpose in the face of the inevitable, managing financial worries, economic uncertainty, inflation, or job insecurity, constant anxieties for many. Instead of succumbing to constant worrying over market fluctuations or external economic forces largely outside your control, a Stoic would channel their energy into what they can control: their spending habits, their saving strategies, their continuous skill development, their work ethic, and their adaptability. They would prudently prepare for potential downturns, not by worrying, but by acting responsibly and wisely within their sphere of influence. Their peace comes from there. Virtuous actions, not from external financial guarantees. Handling difficult relationships. We often wish we could change others, but other people's behavior, their opinions, and their reactions are unequivocally outside our control. The incorrect approach is to constantly try to fix, persuade, or control them, leading to frustration. A Stoic would recognize this fundamental truth. Their focus would be squarely on their own actions and responses, setting healthy boundaries where necessary, communicating clearly and respectfully, choosing to engage or disengage based on their own virtue and well-being, and diligently maintaining their inner peace regardless of the other person's conduct. Their happiness is not contingent on another's behavior. In each of these diverse scenarios, the core principle remains consistent. Relentlessly identify what is within your control, and then focus your energy, your thought, and your action exclusively. There, consciously, deliberately, release the rest. This is not about suppressing your emotions or becoming apathetic. It is about profound emotional regulation and mastery through the application of reason, rational thought, and unwavering virtuous action. It's about ensuring your emotions serve you, not enslave you. The ultimate freedom. Living a life of unshakable virtuous profound. Daily commitment to correct thinking and consistently virtuous action is not merely about avoiding suffering, though it certainly helps immensely in that regard. Its ultimate aim is to achieve what the ancient Greeks called eudaimonia, a rich and complex concept often translated as human flourishing, living well, or a state of excellence. For the Stoics, a life lived in strict accordance with these virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the only truly good life, and it is a life that is, remarkably, entirely within our grasp, regardless of our external circumstances. When you diligently practice wisdom, you will consistently make sound, rational decisions, avoiding impulsive foolishness and error. When you embody courage, you will face life's myriad challenges head-on, not shrinking from what is difficult, painful, or uncertain. When you act with justice, you contribute meaningfully to the common good, treat all with dignity, and maintain an impeccable personal integrity. And when you exercise temperance, you gain an unparalleled mastery over your impulses, ensuring your desires serve your higher purpose, rather than enslaving you in endless cravings and dissatisfactions. This is not an easy path. Let us be clear. It demands constant, rigorous self-awareness, unwavering discipline, and consistent, honest self-reflection. But the rewards, I assure you, are truly immense and profoundly transformative. Through this practice, you gain unshakable inner peace, a deep, abiding tranquility and composure that no external event, no matter how turbulent, can truly disturb. You become less reactive, more calm, and more grounded amidst chaos. Profound resilience, the extraordinary ability to bounce back not just from adversity, but to actively grow from it, viewing every challenge, every setback, as a potent opportunity for learning, strengthening, and self-improvement. Absolute clarity, a razor-sharp understanding of what genuinely matters in life, allowing you to cut through the deafening noise, the endless distractions, and the superficialities of modern existence. You see what is real, deep, purpose, a clear, guiding framework for all your actions and decisions, aligning them seamlessly with universal reason, your highest values, and your true nature. Your life gains direction and meaning. True freedom. This is perhaps the greatest gift. The ultimate freedom from being swayed by volatile external events, from being enslaved by other people's fleeting opinions, or from being controlled by your own untamed, irrational emotions. You transcend being a slave to circumstance and become, truly and profoundly, your own master. Consider the historical figures who embodied this philosophy. Seneca, a powerful advisor to an emperor, who faced periods of exile, and eventually a forced suicide with astonishing equanimity and philosophical composure. Epictetus, born a slave, who taught with unparalleled clarity that true freedom resides solely in the mind, a freedom that no chains or external oppression could ever bind. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the known world, a Roman emperor, who continually sought humility, wisdom, and virtue in his private meditations and daily actions. Their lives, despite vastly different external circumstances ranging from extreme wealth and power to slavery and exile, powerfully exemplify the profound, liberating power of this philosophy. They live lives of profound purpose and unshakable inner strength precisely because they mastered the art of correct thinking. Conclusion: the journey to your transformed self have journeyed together today through the fundamental problem of incorrect thinking, explored the liberating principle of the dichotomy of control, and delved deep into the actionable wisdom of the four cardinal virtues. We've also equipped you with practical tools for daily integration and illuminated how this powerful mindset applies to the very real challenges and opportunities of your life. Let me reiterate, Stoicism is not a quick fix, a magical pill, or a fleeting self-help trend. It is a lifelong practice, a continuous, conscious effort to align your thoughts, your judgments, and your actions with reason, virtue, and reality. There will undoubtedly be days when you falter, days when you succumb to old, reactive habits. That is perfectly normal. It is part of the human condition and the learning process. The key is not to achieve perfection, but to acknowledge your slip, learn from it without harsh self-judgment, and then gently but firmly guide yourself back to the path of correct thinking, the profound promise of thinking correctly through the powerful lens of Stoicism is not a promise of a life devoid of problems or free from struggle. Life, by its very nature, will always present challenges, hardships, and uncertainties. The true promise is of a life where you are robust, deeply resilient, and incredibly resourceful in the face of those challenges. It is the promise of a life where your inner peace, your tranquility, and your sense of purpose are not dictated or disturbed by external circumstances, no matter how tumultuous. It is the promise of a life where you are genuinely free, free from the tyranny of irrational emotions, free from the endless pursuit of fleeting, unsatisfying pleasures, and truly free to live authentically, consistently aligning your being with your highest values and your deepest reason. This transformative journey begins now with a single, conscious, and deliberate choice, the choice to critically examine your thoughts, to bravely challenge your assumptions, and to actively, intentionally cultivate a mind that serves you, empowers you, and liberates you, rather than enslaving you in cycles of worrying and reaction. I wholeheartedly encourage you to take this philosophy from theory to practice. Pick one or two of the practical tools we discussed today, perhaps the morning reflection and journaling, and diligently incorporate them into your daily routine. Start small, be consistent, and patiently observe the profound changes that will unfold in your perspective, your emotional well-being, and your overall experience of life. Thank you for joining me on this deep exploration of correct thinking. The power to transform your life, one conscious thought at a time, is not somewhere out there. It is already profoundly within you. Now, go forth, apply this wisdom, and begin to think correctly. Your journey to a life of greater peace, deeper purpose, and truly unshakable motivation begins right now.